Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Earlier tonight, Mother Nature dropped a little bit of rain here at Comerica Park. But don't worry about it. The tarp is off the field. The sun is shining here at Comerica. Beautiful night for baseball. Welcome to the ballpark, everyone. Game 1 between the Tigers and the Minnesota Twins. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Peppa alongside Kurt Gibson. Glad to have you with us for Game 1 in this series. It's been a rough stretch for the Tigers. They did get a win yesterday, though, Gibby, and you've been through these rough stretches. As a manager, a coach, a player, how do you get them through it?
Well, I've been away from the telecast for a while, but I have been watching the Tigers 2-5 on the last trip. Very disappointed. They're 16-21 on the year. They look like they lack a little bit of confidence right now. And there's teams all around the country that are going through this, but I have a saying about defeating the beast being the thing that wants you to abandon your dreams and your goals. You can't do it. You got to think good things. Don't get emotional. Paint a good picture. You got 38 games only into the season. Things will get better, and you wait for a break. And I think the break may have come yesterday with 2 outs. J.D. Martinez, does he swing? Oh, it looks like it, but the umpire says he doesn't. Next pitch over the left field wall, ties the game. Miguel Cabrera comes up the very next pitch, puts the Tigers ahead. The bullpen does their job. K-Rod comes in, shuts down the Orioles. The Tigers get the win. A big win for the Tigers. George Zimmerman going tonight, and he's a good guy to get the Tigers on a 2-game roll.
All right, now the Tigers also have another change. Cameron Maben comes up. Anthony Gose goes down. But in left field tonight, Justin Upton, and he's decided, Brad Ausmus that is, to put Maben in there in center field very first night. He can bring some things to this ball club.
Well, they're looking for it. You're going to have a kind of a 4-player mix with Jay up, Stephen Moya, J.D., and now Cameron Maben. What does he bring? He's got tools. We drafted him in the #1 in the first round way back when. And he goes and gets him. He goes all over. He's got a little bit of pop, too. You see he's not afraid of the wall right there. He'll lay out his body. You know, on the DL, really got hurt way back in March 2nd, then hurt his shoulder, but now is healthy again. He also can steal bases, and there can be some good opportunities in this 3-game series to steal some bases of Kurt Suzuki and the Minnesota Twins.
All right, after a short break, we'll send you back to the Call Sam Studios. Check in with Matt Shepard. Coming up tonight, Motor City's Jay-Z. Jordan Zimmerman gets the call. Tigers, Twins, Game 1 next. Here at Comerica Park as we get you ready for the Tigers and the Minnesota Twins in game 1 of the series. Jordan Zimmerman tonight, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
He's been a good one since coming over this year. 5-2 on the year. 1.5 ERA. Was not scored upon in his first 3. Being a workhorse, 48 innings pitched and only 7 games started. And a great guy to have on the mound tonight if you're the Tigers trying to put together a winning streak, and they've got him going.
Starting lineup tonight presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. For the Twins, Mauer, Nunez, Sano at the top. Park, Plouffe, and Dozier in the middle. Rosario, Suzuki, and Santana rounded out. For the Minnesota Twins, we are underway tonight. Strike 1 on their new leadoff hitter, Joe Mauer. He's batting .286, 1 home run this year. A little bit of a different look for Paul Molitor. The last time we saw the Twins, Mauer was in his normal 3 spot. 1 ball and 1 strike. It has been a struggle for the Minnesota Twins this year. 10-26 on the season. The 1-1 pitch is fouled straight back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So these are 2 squads right now just trying to find some traction.
Talking to Paul Molitor today before the game, he was talking about last year when they started. I think it was 1-6. So a little deeper into it this year, a little deeper challenge. A lot of young kids on this team.
1-2 sails outside. 2-2. Well, the Twins do have a little bit of momentum. They picked up a couple of wins in their series just completed against Cleveland, winning 2 out of 3.
The Cleveland team's been buzzing saw on a lot of teams this year.
Driven toward left, and a backhanded play by Upton out in left field. Nicely done. Slicing away from Justin.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defense presented by Beaumont Health. Jay Up and JD on the corners in the outfield. Newcomer Cameron Maben in center field. Castellanos and Cabrera on the corners in the infield. Iglesias and Kinsler up the middle. Salty behind the plate, and he's catching Jordan Zimmerman. Good JD right here. Ball's tailing away a little bit, but makes a good adjustment to it. Gets it in the webbing, puts it away, and Mauer's down.
Upton back in the familiar left field spot. That ball is stroked to center field, and it's going to drop right in front of Cameron Maben for a 1-out single. Nunez is aboard. The Twins have their first hit tonight.
Cam Maben right there took a very cautious approach out there. It feels different. You've been on the DL that long, and you've been down in Toledo, and now all of a sudden you get into this park here. It's a much different atmosphere, different perspective, and take him a little time to get comfortable out there.
Boy, is it 420 feet to dead center field here.
He's got those big strides, and he can cover a lot of ground. He glides well out there.
Here is Miguel Sano. 5 homers this year for Sano. Twins typically have given the Tigers fits, although the Tigers did a number on Minnesota earlier this year at Target Field.
Swept them, didn't they?
They did. Hopefully they'll bring that mojo into this series. Keeping an eye on Nunez. 6 stolen bases in 8 attempts this season.
He was the next Derek Jeter, right?
He was the next Derek Jeter, and that's well, some awfully big shoes to fill. Runner bluffs. He had a running start, but then spun his wheels.
Yeah, good adjustment there. If you're a base runner, especially early in the game, the fields are usually very moist, and he took off, didn't get a good jump, slipped with his back foot and shut it down. You can see they put that kind of the white product on there. It's called Turfus. They put that on there to absorb the moisture, but it also slows the track.
Here's the 0-1. No balls, 2 strikes. So you found it more difficult to steal a base maybe in the first inning than in the 7th or 8th?
Well, you had to watch. Also, the bases are wet because they spray the infield down, and the bases get wet. So you have to be very cautious when you go in there. Your foot can slip. But generally, you can look at the fields. They're going to be a little bit wetter early in the game. Of course, when you get into the day games, they dry out quickly.
The 0-2. Sano takes high.
You know, the reason you have to think about making an adjustment not only with your running but with your sliding. The wetter surface, you got to maybe slide a little closer to the bag. When it dries out, slide out a little farther. The way they do the replays nowadays, you have to remain on the bag.
Zimmerman keeping a very close eye on Nunez. Twins batting in the first inning, a 1-out single by Nunez. Sano batting in the 3 spot these days, 15 RBIs for the Twins. 1-2 is fought off foul. Sano has great promise in terms of his power. He had a huge year last year, was called up from Double-A, and by the time the season ended, he had hit a total of 33 home runs between Double-A and the big leagues.
Finished 3rd in Rookie of the Year.
Again, the 1-2 just missed. 2-2.
You know, you see a young man like Sano come up and have a good year, his rookie year, and then you expect it and anticipate it's going to be better. Doesn't happen that way. Your opponents make adjustments to you, and it actually gets tougher to duplicate your success.
2-2 is swung on and missed. Down he goes. First strikeout for Jordan.
But Jordan did a pretty good job. Kind of quick pitched him a little bit. He's been holding that runner over the Nunez at first base. Little slide piece right there. Sano over top. Good camera work. See how the ball goes down late. Sano does not recognize it.
I think Zim has done a pretty good job as well at holding the baseball to keep Nunez close at first base. Here is Trevor Plouffe. That time a quick toss back to the bag. Bianco Park, rather. I had Plouffe written down on my score sheet, and it's actually Park. I got a bad lineup early on there, Gibby.
Oh boy.
Someone's gonna have to pay for that.
Wonder who gave it to you.
I don't know. I'm not gonna tell. I'll deal with it later.
Had some specialties printed up for you. You can trust me. Been off for a while, so I had to get back at you early.
So you're the culprit.
This guy here's got some power. He's hitting 466-foot home runs, 522 footers.
Runner goes, throw down to second, is going to sail into center, but a stolen base for Nunez. He's in scoring position.
He gets Jordan timed up pretty good right here. Pretty good technique right there. Quick peek in. Pretty tough pick for Ian Kinsler, and Nunez has a stolen base. Second base, 2 down.
So talking about the home runs that Park has hit, man, he has not hit many cheapies this year. Massive power from Korea. The 1-0 is a ball outside. 2 balls to no strikes.
This guy has a unusual approach to getting ready to hit the ball. Koreans have different leg kicks, similar to the Japanese style as well. We'll track this for you. We'll put something together for you here in this series.
Third base side for Castellanos, who makes the play, and that'll be it for Minnesota. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. the Tigers now in the bottom of the first inning. Tigers lineup presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Kinsler, JD Martinez, Miguel Cabrera in the top 3 spots. Victor, then Castellanos, who has had good numbers against the Twins this year. Jay Up is in left. You've got Maben, Saltalouakia, and Iglesias rounding it out for the Tigers. And they are facing the youngster Jose Barrios.
Yeah, good young looking kid. Live, quick arm. Fire fastballs at the up to mid 90s. A pretty good curveball. Can be coming out pitch. The change is a very good pitch for him as well. That's kind of his out pitch as well. I project him to be a future #2 starter.
Barrios is only 21 years old. He will turn 22 on May the 27th. First pitch is hammered deep to left field, way back and gone. A leadoff home run for Ian Kinsler, and the Tigers have a 1-0 lead. Welcome to Detroit, Mr. Barrios.
Home cooking for him. But Ian Kinsler likes to swing early in the count, and when you swing early when leading off a game, you want to make sure you center it. This is just a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, has a middle. Ian jumps all over it. Tigers out to a 1-0 lead early in this game.
Kinsler needed just one pitch to extend his hitting streak to 5 in a row. It's a leadoff home run. And JD Martinez looks at a strike. That's the way to get the homestand started.
How many leadoffs does he have this year? Do we know?
Well, we don't. Not off the top of my head.
We'll get it. You know, he's such a veteran guy. He's gotten very good at either jumping that pitch or letting it go and doing some scouting for his next at bat. Always good to start out that way, though.
2-1 on JD Martinez. Batting .237, 6 home runs. And that'll miss outside. 3 balls, 1 strike, so a bumpy start for Jose Barrios. Kinsler jumped him for the homer. 3-1 is hammered foul, back out of play. Full count. Barrios, one of their best prospects, best pitching prospect, #2 overall in their organization. You got Miguel waiting on deck.
Only started pitching full time in 2012. Was a shortstop in high school.
He's walked Martinez.
Right here, Ian Kinsler again. We're looking at the first pitch home run, his 33rd of his career, leading off a game. That's a big number.
It's a huge number. Of course, many of those came as a Ranger down in that ballpark in Arlington.
There you see the hit speed, 102 miles per hour, 387 feet.
Here is Miguel Cabrera. Miggy had 6 hits on the road trip, batting .286.
And the big home run yesterday, really to be the game decider, the game winner. And you could see his smarts beam as well. But that ball was kind of tailing inside on him, and he got the hands in almost like he was looking in there. And he jumped him.
Barrios missing inside 1-0. It's amazing how little things along the course of a season can maybe change the course of your year. That check swing by JD Martinez, the next pitch a home run, and all of a sudden you've got new life.
Well, I think prior to that, there's been a period of time where many Tiger fans, and the Tigers as well, feel like you can't get a break.
Right.
But we'd all have to agree that was a good break to get there, and the Tigers made the best of it.
1 ball, 1 strike on Miguel. So Zimmerman gets an early lead to work with. That's good news. Cabrera on the year has knocked in 20. Here's the 1-1. 2 balls, 1 strike on Miguel. Barrios is a native of Bayamon, Puerto Rico. Not a very big kid. He's 6 feet. He's 187. But he has that electric arm.
Loose, live arm. Young kid's got to learn how to use it.
Here's the 2-1. Ooh, look out, there goes the bat.
Souvenir.
Man, you're not kidding. Way back in the seats. That thing helicoptered out beyond the Tiger dugout, and that guy right there ends up with a souvenir.
I'm betting that that's the bat that he used yesterday to hit the home run that went into the stands.
And I think Miggy wants it back. He's going to make an exchange. No, maybe not.
That was a good launch right there. And oh, look at not getting it from that guy.
Hey, back off, man.
As he clears everybody around him away. Oh, look at there. He's volunteering to give it back for 2 new ones.
For the low price of 2 new ones.
Yeah. Just heard him say it. Didn't you hear it? Our microphone picked it up.
Here's the 2-2. I think Cabrera was telling him to just keep it, but maybe not.
He's looking for it. No, that's an old Ernie Harwell joke, by the way.
Is that right?
Yeah, I didn't really hear it.
It's like a man from Waterford caught that foul.
How did you know?
Ernie had that 6th sense.
He had that seat arrangement. Everybody checked in with Ernie.
Here's again the 2-2, and it's inside. 3-2 now on Miguel. So a rather energetic start to this one here tonight. The home run by Kinsler. Miggy launches his bat back into the seats.
Do you run him?
Let's find out.
I gotta believe so.
They probably trust Cabrera enough. Runner goes. Rolled foul. Pinball around the camera well.
Got to charge that ball down there. Let's go.
Barry, you all right down there? Charge it. That thing came in hot, man.
Yes, it did. Look at here. Oh, it's coming at me.
Nice job, Barry.
Probably do a better job catching the ball than I could, so hats off to him.
Again, the 3-2, and he walked him, and this is a really bumpy start now for Barrios.
Just like we'd like, but let's take a look at the Tim Hortons defensive alignment for the Minnesota Twins. Eddie Rosario in left, Danny Santana center, Miguel Sano in right, Trevor Plouffe at third, Eduardo Perez at short, Brian Dozier at second, and Joe Mauer at first, and Kurt Suzuki behind the plate.
So now it doesn't get much easier. Victor Martinez will stand in with 2 men on and nobody out. Vic leads the American League, batting .352. 21 RBIs, and recently on that road trip, despite the team struggles, was on a tear offensively.
Yeah, he's looking comfortable as he stands in for every at bat.
With 2 runners aboard, pretty much playing him straight up on the infield. We saw Buck Showalter do some strange things defensively with Martinez.
A lot of shifting going on.
A couple of the infielders were actually in the outfield grass. Martinez, for the most part this year, has been able to beat the shift when they've employed it. Here's the 0-1. Little chopper hit slowly toward first base. They'll tag the bag for the out there as Mauer picks it up, advance the runners.
Off-speed pitch there.
That'll bring up Castellanos. Nick batting .344.
Off to a great start after 35 games. See the .960 OPS. That means you're getting on base and you're hitting the ball hard. Extra base hits.
Thought the Twins might play the infield in here. They have since backed up. It's the first inning. Of course, they are facing Jordan Zimmerman, who has been outstanding this year for the Tigers. And there's a base hit to left. That'll score 1. Cabrera will go to second and stop there. It's an RBI single for Castellanos.
Great job by Nick right here. I believe he guessed breaking pitch here. He got it. It's the get me over breaking ball, and he jumped it. You see the grip there? It's right over the middle of the plate, hard of the plate. I like to see this. Shows the progression as a hitter. Got the foot down and just waited. Let it come. Tigers score 1. JD across the plate. Miguel had to hold up, and we've got first and third now with one down.
And Castellanos now with 29 RBIs on the season. That is among the best in the American League. There's a foul back by Upton. So far, the home cooking has been good for the Tigers. They put up 2 runs on 2 hits. Got to get Upton going, though. He had just 4 hits on the entire trip.
Well, I know he's working on it. How do you get a guy going? You know, that's that everybody's trying to figure out.
0-2.
Nasty pitch, didn't want it. Finds himself in an 0-2 hole. But you get up there sometimes. You work every day early in the cage in your early BP, and you're trying to make adjustments. Sometimes you get too consumed with information and you get an overload, and it's very tough to hit that way. Jap's trying to work himself out of that. That's a good take there in the breaking pitch.
A lot of times, Gibby, you hear this saying, just go up there, see ball, hit ball, but that's a little bit easier said than done, isn't it?
It is. As I said, your mind gets consumed, you get overloaded. It just doesn't work that way, but you're trying to work yourself back to what you're talking about.
Now the 1-2. Just missed.
Had a flinch there from Jeff Nelson behind the plate. Did not make the call. Looks like it just tailed off. Good call.
Now Barrios with the 2-2. Down the right field line, slicing foul.
I know the Tigers' offense has been inconsistent so far, certainly in this last little streak they've gone through, but I think you see some signs, and give credit to the players. They haven't run from it. They've had a good atmosphere in the locker room and trying to get on a roll. Can't concede to it. It's a tough game. See JD, he's keeping his book.
Good block at home plate, and now the count will run full at 3-2. It's a good job by Upton going from 0-2 to 3-2.
Now J-Ups saw the curveball. The fastball, he's trying to two-seam it in under his hand, so he knows if it's inside, it's probably going to be the fastball. Out over the plate, it's going to be the breaking ball. Looks like he might go to the changeup, a new pitch here.
Swing and a miss. Upton is out on strikes.
It was the changeup.
First strikeout of the game for Barrios. Bring up Cameron Maben.
Good arm motion. See, there's good depth to it. Ball goes down. J-Up tries to stay with it, get a piece. Look at his footwork there. Just a little early. Actually, he's a little late. The foot comes down right at the end there. You like to get, most people like to get their foot down a little earlier than that. Keep your hands in the ready position.
Ian Kinsler does a good job of that, I think.
Oh yes.
Here's Maben getting his first at bat of the season.
Let's see him run.
Little gapper here. That'll get into the dirt and not blocked nicely there by Suzuki.
Miguel Cabrera had an idea down there at third base, but a good block by Kurt Suzuki. He's a very good defensive catcher.
It'll be interesting to see what Maben will provide for this ball club. The Tigers decided to send Anthony Ghost down. At least for tonight, it is Maben in center, Upton in left, but Stephen Moya played so well in Baltimore that he will get his opportunities as well. Maben takes low, 2-0. And in fact, going into that Baltimore series, the odds were that it was going to be Moya that was going down when Maben was activated, but Stephen played so well, he kind of won himself a spot.
At least a further look.
Exactly.
And
ball 3.
I think sending Ghost down, probably nobody wants to go down, but I think it could work very good. Take a little bit of pressure off him, let him go down there in a different environment. I know Lloyd McClendon does a good job. Try and get him relaxed and back on track.
He's swinging on 3-0 and he lines it foul and snapped his bat.
You know, hopefully they send Ghost down and he plays so well they have a tough good problem. That means everybody's playing good. That hasn't happened so far this year, but Tigers tinkering quite a bit early in the season. A little long here. You see that ball's running in just right off the label. Barrios got good movement on that fastball. Righty's going to have to try and get it out over the plate.
Well, this next pitch will be his 30th of the first inning. Barrios allowing a home run to Kinsler. He's also walked a couple. Castellanos an RBI single. And he's walked another. Third walk in the inning for Jose Barrios. That'll bring a visit out to the mound now. By the way, here are the field conditions now, presented by Ace Hardware and the Scotts Company. 65 degrees at game time. We had some showers early. The tarp was on the field about an hour and a half or so ago, but then the rain cleared out. Hopefully it'll stay away the rest of the night.
Got a slow track down here. You see that? They do at the races. That's what they do. Got a slow track so far.
Here is Saltalamacchia with the bases loaded. Be nice to see Salty provide a little somewhat of a knockout punch early here.
A salami.
He's already done that once this year. And he looks at the ball outside.
Barrios has so much movement on all of his pitches, you can't control it. I think he'll go to that changeup. Salty got to guard against that.
Low, ball 2 with no room on the bases.
If you give him the swing on 3-0, let's think a pitch ahead.
Yes.
I would say no with bases loaded. Can't find the zone.
Good hack there on 2-0. Foul straight back.
Very good. So far, 17 balls, 16 strikes. That's not what you want to see if you're Paul Molitor. It is what you want to see if you're the Tigers.
Here's the 2-1. 3-1 on Saltalamacchia. And the pitches continue to mount for Jose Barrios, with Iglesias, the 9th batter, waiting on deck. And he lost it, ball 4. That will force in a run. 4th walk in the inning for Jose Barrios. Exactly what the Tigers wanted here in the first, a quick start.
Get through the order. Down here, Jose Iglesias now.
And right away, you've got some activity now. Dean, the left-hander, is warming up.
Lefty action.
Pat Dean. Here's Iglesias. Ball 1. .239 for Jose.
Yeah, not like a bullpen if you're a pitcher now. You're in a lot of trouble. You're young. This is a struggle.
That's in there, a strike call, 1-1. Barrios, another deep breath. He has the bases loaded. 3 runs in, 2 outs. Iggy takes inside, 2-1.
You can imagine if you're a young kid like we're watching right here, getting that arm swing going back, and feels like something's grabbing your elbow.
Iglesias hammers one to left center field. Ball hit well, and that ball is going to go up against the base of the wall. This might get 3 runs in, and it will. It's a bases clearing double for Jose Iglesias. 6-0 Tigers.
Good to see some smiles early in the game here. Had a great talk with Iggy this morning or before the game, and boy, he gets ahead in the count right here and gets the ball up in the zone, and we hit that a long way out there. Good swing right on it, didn't pull off it, off the base of the wall out there by the bullpen. All three score 6-0.
And Berríos will not survive the first inning. The rookie right-hander will be taken out of the game as Iglesias cleans the bases. Berríos will hit the showers. A wall side windows pitching change. 6-0 Tigers. Knockout punch for Berríos. The young right-hander, the rookie, is out of the game now. They bring in a lefty, and that is Pat Dean.
Be his 7th game this year. ERA around 3. Kind of a finesse pitcher. Fastball about 88 to 91. Slider, curveball. Doesn't walk many guys. Tries to get him to put the ball in play.
Ian Kinsler put it in play to lead off the first inning with a home run. He takes the ball low.
Yeah, in the big leagues, you get behind in the count. Mostly every team is going to make you pay, as the Tigers have.
Berríos was literally behind just about everybody. He went to a ton of full counts, a ton of 3-ball counts. There's a strike right at the knees on Kinsler. Pat Dean was called up prior to the May 7th game against the White Sox. Made his debut, going 2 2/3 in relief. Swing and a miss. So certainly a different look now coming from the hard-throwing right-hander Berríos.
And looking at the Tigers, they just struggled a little bit against lefties this year. So this will be good for them. They've got a nice lead. The chance to see a lefty get on track against them as well.
Here's the 1-2. Inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Suzuki's been skidding around behind home plate all night.
Lefties like to throw righties breaking in under the hands off the plate or inside. They like the cutter in, elevate a little bit on their hands. All the lefties have thrown the Tigers there this year.
Another one in the dirt. 3-2 now is the count on Kinsler. Dean pitched his college ball at Boston College. Four walks and 3 hits in the inning for the Tigers. There's a fly ball to right field. Sano coming in. Diving try by Dozier. Can't get it. And another audible score. Iglesias comes in. Blue double Kinsler. Make it 7-0.
We talked about the break the Tigers received yesterday, and looks like things are falling into place. They've received 4 free passes so far in the first inning, and now Ian Kinsler hits one off the end of the bat. Brian Dozier over to try and get it. Sano on the way in, just off the tip of his glove, and that'll play to Iglesias. 7-0.
Here's Martinez, who walked earlier in the inning, and he takes ball 1. I don't imagine Brad had a better idea of how this first inning could have gone any better. A 7 spot here in the first for the Tigers. The 1-0 is low, 2 balls and no strikes. Twins just can't throw strikes right now, and they're paying for it.
They get behind in the count, then they've got to come over really down the middle. Tigers are enjoying that, the Tiger hitters. See Kurt Suzuki talking to the youngster.
The old hand on the shoulder.
Did you like that when people do that to you? The
No.
hand on the shoulder?
No.
Yeah, I have to agree. Like flinch. I just flinched watching it.
Mike Maddox did that quite a bit in Texas, still does.
Rick Peterson.
Rick Peterson, another, yeah. 2-0. A 7-run first for the Tigers. It might get even better. Let's see what JD gets on 2-0 here. He'll swing and foul it back.
Big cut there. Missed one.
Pat Dean won 12 ball games last year at AAA as a starter. Was starting this year in Rochester as well. There's a drive to center field. That ball is hit well. Santana's on the move. He's not going to get it. Up against the wall. Kinsler comes around to score. JD has a double and an RBI. 8-0 Tigers with no end in sight.
Again, up in the count. Ball's got middle. JD, he's strong when he gets a hold of him. Foot down, everything comes together. Good extension. Danny Santana thought he was going to get this one, but it just took off. Had jets on it. Kinsler around to score, and was at 8-0.
Here is Cabrera. He'll hammer one foul back out of play. Kinsler has scored 2 runs already here in the first inning. Tigers have 8 as a team on 5 hits. Mickey had a walk, scored a run earlier. And Cabrera singles to left field. That will send Martinez to third, and the hit parade continues.
Now this interesting. Tigers lead 8-0 in the bottom of the first inning, and now you get into the rules, the unwritten rules. Usually it's 6 runs up after 6 innings. Well, watch right here. Watch Clarkie. Do you send him? Do you not send him? Could he send him? You can see he's got him shutting him down early. He's got to make that decision. You know, if you're in Fenway Park, it might be a little different, where you score lots of runs. But you can see they're not going to rub it in early in the game.
Well, here is Victor Martinez now. The Tigers are 5 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Strike one on Martinez.
Kind of goofed the scorebook up a little bit, but it's a good goof up for me.
It's a great goof up.
Only got 2 negative things in there, but I'm not looking at it. I see all the dark fields that are scored.
Here's a soft line drive on one hop. Nice play. Nunez fires to second, and they'll get the force. What an inning for the Tigers. They come back home, put up 8 runs on 6 hits. It all started with Ian Kinsler going deep. Jose Iglesias shot the gap for 3 runs. JD Martinez to left center. Oh, what a start for the Tigers. first inning for the Tigers as we go to the second. 8 runs on 6 Tigers hits.
Ocho.
And Jordan Zimmerman enjoying a huge lead early in this one. Trevor Plouffe leads it off, then Brian Dozier and Eddie Rosario. Plouffe batting .269. Hammers that one foul to right field. 0-2.
Now, if you're the Tigers, obviously you like the 8-0 lead. There is a long way to go. So, looking at it on the other side, if you're Minnesota, if you wanted it to happen, you knew it was going to put an 8 spot on you. You want it in the first inning. You have time to come back. So you don't want to relax too much. You want to make sure you make the plays. Stay mentally into the game, and don't let these Twins even think about coming back.
Well, the other side of that, though, is that the Twins know they're going to have to burn quite a bit of their bullpen tonight.
Well, they'll probably send somebody out after the game to get a fresh arm in here. Absolutely.
There's the ball low and away.
And Jordan Zimmerman, that's a long inning for him to sit. So he's a veteran. He probably knows how to do it. But we'll have to keep a close eye here.
Plouffe looks at a ball that just missed inside. 2-2 the count. Zim's last start came in the team or against the team that he just left, the Washington Nationals. He got a nice round of applause in his first start back in Washington. Swing and a miss. Plouffe is out of there.
Great location. Zimmerman does this so well. Locates at the end right here. There you can see the grip. Tails in under the hands. Right in on the hands on the handle. Plouffe can't make the adjustment down on strikes.
That'll bring up Brian Dozier. It brings us the Bernstein advantage. The pitcher batter matchup. Dozier career against Zimmerman. Not a whole lot of luck.
0 for 6.
A couple of strikeouts as well. Dozier batting just .218. He's hit 4 home runs. He had a really bad month of April. There's a big swing. In fact, in the month of April, he hit just .191, but he's been much better in the month of May.
Hits lefties well, but righty's been eating him up.
There's a bouncer up the middle and knocked down by Kinsler, but he'll have no play. It'll be an infield single for Brian Dozier. Although technically it did get to the outfield grass. Second hit of the ball game for the Twins.
We show the 0 for 6, and what happens?
Now 1 for 7.
Gotta be my fault.
Good job there, Gibby.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Here's Eddie Rosario. .212 hitter is Rosario, and he'll look at strike 1. They give up the entire third base line, play him to pull just a touch. Castellanos way off the line at third. Bouncer right back to the mound. Jordan Zimmerman, a one-hopper to second. There's one. And they'll beat the relay, but what a play there by Zimmerman, who fell down and still made the throw.
That was a dangerous play right there. He's a veteran guy again. He trusts what he sees, but that's hard to throw the ball. Look at it. He gets down on his knee here. Has to reach back across his body. Makes a quick throw. Good pick down there at second base.
Well, that was a great pick.
Got to hang in. You know, that it's easier to do nowadays because of the rule down there at second base that most adhere to. See that one last night?
I saw the one last night. It was really interesting.
Went in there hard with consequences.
You're speaking of Jose Bautista.
Yes.
And Rougned Odor.
Yeah. A couple guys got surprised on that.
Here's Suzuki. Now Zimmerman with the 0-1, and it's a ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Give Bautista credit. He just said, yeah, he got me a good one.
Move on. He didn't hit the deck, although Beltre probably held him up.
Yeah, well, he was looking for his glasses, though.
1 ball, 1 strike on Suzuki. High fly ball left field. That one's hit well. Upton going back to the track, to the wall, and that ball is gone. A home run for Kurt Suzuki. It's a 2-run shot, and the Twins are on the board. That is the first home run of the year for Suzuki.
Well, he got a hanging slider right here. Zim tried to throw the good slider. Look at, you can see the fingers on the side, just kind of hangs up right down the middle of the plate. Not much depth. Ball's jumping pretty good out of here today.
It sure is.
So the Twins back to an 8-2 score.
Strike one on Danny Santana. Twins have 2 runs on 3 hits now. Santana fouls it away. 0-2 on the Minnesota center fielder, who over the years has done really well against Tigers pitching. .324. Now the 0-2. Ground ball, fair ball at first base, fielded by Cabrera. That'll end the inning. 2 runs back though for the Twins on the Suzuki homer. The Tigers still comfortably ahead as we go to the bottom of the second. Pat Dean will go back to the hill. Had to come on in the first inning in relief of Jose Barrios, who threw 39 pitches before he was knocked out of the game.
That inning was 28 minutes 18 seconds.
Do you have the clock on it?
I have my sources.
Nice.
I do have a clock though. Do you hear it ticking?
I do. 1 ball, no strikes, and there's a strike right at the knees. 1-1. It'll be Castellanos, Upton, and Maben against the left-hander. There's the shift they play against Nick. He'll fight it off the other way, foul.
I was reading the other day about the shifting. Some speculate that they think it's going to go too far. Project 30,000 shifts this year.
Whoa.
That would be a 69% increase over last year. So they're into it, but at what point does the result not add up to what they believe it will?
Well, at some point it does have to level off, doesn't it? I mean, I think there's an increase now because you have the teams that weren't doing it as much in the past starting to catch up with those clubs.
I would agree.
And so once those teams have caught up with the clubs that were shifting the most, then you'll start to see them level off. I think.
Yeah, but all the teams have more data as well, it's more specific. And really, until the hitters start to make adjustments, you know, the hitters are analyzing, should I change my approach or should I not as well? So there's another side of that. And they're going to do, if they keep making outs hitting into the shift, they're going to make changes. They're going to adjust their swing.
In the air to center. Danny Santana is under it, 1 out.
Speaking of yesterday, we're talking about Mr. Batista gets drilled. That was in response to something that happened previously. The warnings are handed out. What can you do if you're Batista? You can go to the mound, or on a ground ball double play, you can go in hard at second base. That's an illegal slide. He slid too late. And Odor took exception to it, and they pushed each other. This doesn't happen very often in our game, but he lost a hat and a pair of glasses right there. And
you don't get a clean shot like that very often, do you?
Yeah, I don't think you expect that in baseball.
Right.
And, somebody got humbled yesterday. That's humbling.
Justin Upton is standing in. He'll take a ball inside. 2-0 the count.
It'll be interesting to see how the league sorts that one out. See what kind of precedent for that type of action.
It's going to be one that's, I think, in some ways difficult to sort out because of the severity of the end result on that punch.
And we didn't show beyond that, but those teams were talking pretty hard at each other for a while out there in center field.
And apparently Odor went after Donaldson and landed a blow on Donaldson as well later in that scrum. Swing and a miss by Upton. 2-2.
Well, he's going to have to understand you can't do that. I think playing hard on the diamond is one thing, but I know the league doesn't like to see it progress quite so far. Come on, J.Up.
The 2-2 is strike 3 called. Upton is out on strikes for the second time. 2 gone.
I think he thought this was going to go inside. Pretty marginal pitch, but nevertheless, it's a called third strike. And J.Up was, trying to do the right thing. He's got a lot on his mind. He looks like a guy who's in between to me up there. And I'm just going to tell you all watching him, be patient. This kid can help us. Keep encouraging him. It's going to help. It's going to help him get realigned.
Cameron Maben with 2 outs.
Can you ever remember a time when you were playing as a little kid that you got booed?
No, I really can't. But then again, they didn't typically boo in Little League.
Well,
I didn't play in the
I thought you went a little further than that.
Okay, I went to high school, but still, they didn't boo much there either. 0-2 the count.
Well, it's something that you have to deal with for sure. But again, I just I think that being the other way gives you a better chance to get back on track.
Well, there's no question. And I know people don't want to hear about track records, and that's a phrase that is used a lot. But all of a sudden, Justin Upton all of a sudden is not going to at least approach some of the numbers he's had in the past. There's a little looping base hit to right field. And Cameron Maben on base twice in this game.
That's a good sign. Maben struggled down at AAA, had a hard time getting going, and you can just see Maben. I think he's trying to get a sign to see whether he can still run. That's good. Didn't pull off it. Pitch on the outside part of the plate. Just served it out to right field.
Oh, I thought he was saying time to eat.
Well, he wants the ball. American League. Or he hadn't had a hit in a long time.
One of the two. Here's Saltalamacchia. He'll swing in the first and sky it down the right field line. Foul, out of play. Bauer runs out of room. Tigers already have 7 hits on the board now with that single by Maben. Salty walked. That was with the bases loaded in the first and picked up an RBI. Dean missing inside.
I'd like to see the Tigers stay aggressive here. It's early in the game. Good time for Cam Maben. Maybe try and get one here with 2 outs.
Maben once stole 40 in a season with San Diego. Of course, Cameron started his major league career with the Tigers and then went over to the Marlins in the Miguel Cabrera deal.
Now they're together.
All these years later. There goes the runner. Here comes Suzuki's throw. It's going to be tardy and a stolen base.
I like it. They're going to give it to you. You got to go.
It's a good sign. The Tigers really have not been a running team this year.
It's kind of hard with their lineup the way it is. You got JD, Miggy, Victor, Castellanos, Upton. Guys can really power the ball in the alley and out of the park. But I think it can give the team energy as well.
Popped him up, foul, and again headed back to the seats. That was the 10th stolen base this year for the Tigers. Maben, I think, at the beginning of the year was scheduled to platoon for the most part with Anthony Ghost, or at least in the early going, to see how it would shake out. And then, of course, Cam got hurt on March the 2nd when he was hit by a pitch. Broke his wrist.
Then he hurt his shoulder in his rehab assignment down in AAA, diving for a ball. Now he's healed. And here he goes.
Now again the 3-2 swing and a miss. Saltalamacchia is gone. So are the Tigers. Couple of strikeouts for Dean. We go to the top of the third in Comerica Park. A little bit of cool evening here at the ballpark tonight.
Not like the last couple of nights. Whew. Tigers caught a break by being in Baltimore yesterday.
That's what I heard. A little bit nippy in Baltimore yesterday as well, but still a nice afternoon for a baseball game. But from what I understand, was very chilly here.
Was it snowing?
It was not snowing, no.
It was here.
You got me there.
Like it.
Joe Mauer leads it off. Top of the order coming up. Mauer, Nunez, and Sano facing the right-hander Zimmerman. Strike called on Joe Mauer.
Joe Mauer, take a look at the outfield alignment. Jay up way down the line right here. Maben and JD not quite so far around. See, Joe Mauer is a lifetime 3-something hitter, and he just has not really hit for power during his career.
More so at the Metrodome, and I think that probably was true for everybody as compared to Target Field.
He's had a great career. #1 pick in the country. Been an MVP, 6-time All-Star. Solid. Used to catch. Last time he caught was in 2014. Now pretty much first base and DH.
Well, it always fascinated me that he could win 3 batting titles playing that catching position. Here's the 0-2 inside, 1-2.
I believe, was he the first catcher to ever do that?
I have to look that up. You mean win 3?
Yeah.
No, I don't believe so. I
Won
think
3 batting titles. Got the Johnny Bench Award, I believe, when he was a youngster.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He dusted him. One gone. Time to check in now with Kristen Keith.
Thanks, guys. Now, over the weekend, Major League Baseball kicked off its inaugural Play Ball weekend, sponsored by MLB, kicked off this weekend, and the Tigers actually got involved today to try and get kids excited about the game of baseball. From youth clinics to kids running the bases, all 30 Major League Baseball clubs are participating. Before today's game, St. Hedwig's Twins, a Little League team from Southwest Detroit, were here early to watch batting practice, meet and greet with Tigers players, and they even took the positions on the field before the Tigers did. Guys, do you guys have any memories from childhood involving baseball, or what sparked your interest in the game?
Yeah, Kristen, I think both of us do. I think all of us as kids. I'll give you one of my biggest memories was starting at shortstop. My first time I played Little League, the first ball was hit right to me, went right through my legs. And I went back to the bench and I told the coach, I can't play short. And he made me go back out there.
Well,
and
good for
yelled
him.
at me. Said, you get out there and get it done.
I remember putting a screen of fence on the back of the old Mercury station wagon, dragging the field before I could play baseball at John Monteith Elementary School. It's my first memory.
The old Mercury, huh?
Yeah, the Merc. Maroon. Station wagon.
Nice. Nunez, the batter, here with one out. Here's the 2-1 pitch. There's the strike. You don't have any old photos of that rig, do you?
I'll try and dig one out.
Dig them up. I got to see this.
If not my sisters, I'm sure they do.
Zim ready with the 2-2 pitch as Nunez stands in, and now he steps out. Nunez singled, stole a base, did not score in the first. That'll miss inside. Run the count full now, 3-2. Right to the first baseman. Cabrera tags the bag for the out. 2 down, time for a game break now in Mickey York. All right, Mick, thanks. Here the Tigers raced out to an 8-run first, and they lead 8-2 tonight. Here's a high, towering fly ball to left field, up and going back. He's going to scale the wall, and it is gone. A home run. Miguel Sano flexing his muscles, and that is the second home run of the night for Minnesota.
Another slider. Didn't get much on it. Want to be careful with that pitch. It's just didn't work again. Sano's got big power. See on the side of the ball right there. Trying to get that pitch down and away. Now 8-3 Detroit.
6th of the year for Miguel Sano. Young Ho Park sends a ground ball to third. Easy play there, Castellanos. That'll take care of the side, but the Twins get one back on the Sano homer.
Detroit brings you the scouting report on the Detroit Tigers and Minnesota Twins. You can see the Tigers 3-0 against the Twins, only 1-8 against the AL Central, and that's basically due to what Cleveland have not beat the Indians.
0 for 6 against the Tribe. Still trying to figure that one out. That'll change though.
If you just look around, it's pretty good balance, I think, and going to see various teams go through certain streaks, good ones, bad ones. I think it's going to be a pretty good battle throughout the season this year.
Jose Iglesias will lead things off here in the Tiger third. I agree with that. Now there are a couple of teams that have gotten off to really good starts. We talked about Chicago in the Central. Baltimore's off to a nice start in the East, but really by and large everybody is pretty much packed into the middle of the pack in the American League.
A lot of teams around 500, a couple over, a couple under. The Tigers aren't that far away.
Here's the 1-2 pitch, and it's fouled off right back to the on-deck circle. Iglesias had a 3-run double in that 8-run first. Look at that young man. How fired up is he? Good job, Ian Kinsler. Bouncing ball, foul ball outside of the bag at third. Iglesias, then Kinsler, and then J.D. Martinez. Tigers built an 8-0 lead. The Twins not quitting though. They got a 2-run homer from Suzuki and a solo shot from Sano. In the meantime, Pat Dean trying to keep it where it is for his squad. Pulled foul again. Barrios threw 39 first inning pitches before departing. Tigers knocked him out of the game quickly tonight. That'll get fouled down the right field line.
Well, you can see the Twins are following the same MO most do with their left-handed pitchers, working the Detroit right-handed hitters. There are 7 of them in the lineup tonight. Hard inside and then trying to get that pitch down and away. Iggy doing a good job of staying on that right there.
2-2. Swing and a miss, and Iglesias is out, 1 gone.
Let's take a look at the Menards big money encounter. It happened in the first inning. Ian Kinsler starts with a big home run to Castellanos, plates another. 4 walks issued to the Tigers in the first inning. Iglesias off the left field wall. Kinsler again went off the end of the bat. J.D. Martinez, 8 runs. That was the most runs in the first inning since September 23rd, 2006. And the Twins have come back to make it 8-3.
Well, Ian Kinsler really cleaned up in that first inning. He batted twice. He homered and doubled. Knocked in a couple of runs, scored a couple of runs. And there's another base hit for Ian. He is having himself a night. He is 3 for 3.
Again, Dean trying to come inside hard. He did the same thing to Iglesias, got him on the changeup. Here he comes in. Ian keeps the hands in. Gets in on him a little bit, but brought his hands in just far enough to power it over third base. 1-out single.
J.D. Martinez. Tigers now have 8 hits.
Bet you he doubles that throw up there.
What makes you think that?
It's because we've already stolen 1 base on it. He doesn't want you to think he's going to throw over 1. You do it again.
Yep, there it is.
If he does it 1 more time, I'd go on the 4th. He could probably go right here, but to be safe, I know he won't throw over 4 times in a row.
Have you ever seen anyone throw 4 times?
Jerry Koosman threw 6 times.
6 times. He came home with that one, strike call.
They win on the 7th. and made it.
Oh, this was against you.
Oh yeah,
Really?
a long time ago. You know, if you're over there thinking I'm not even going to steal, but it's 1, 2, 3 times you're thinking, well, he'll never throw over again. I could get an easy one here. Well, 4, 5, 6, go on the 7th.
Well, what made you pick 7? I mean, you could have easily gone on the 4th.
It's just a feel. Well, if I'd been out, if I went on the 4th, just a feel. He was trying to talk me into going. A lot of base stealers, you can talk them into going by throwing over several times.
Time called as Dean will deliver it, but JD was given time.
Good job by Jeff Nelson, home plate umpire there, giving a quick timeout, because as a hitter, when a pitcher holds like that, you're up there blinking, and you're really sometimes helpless if you have a late blink and the ball's on its way.
It's fouled back out of play.
That was Doug Eddings. They changed umpires. Did you do that to me?
I got back at you for changing the lineup card.
Yeah, baby.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Eddings behind the plate, Nelson at first, Ben May at second, and Corey Blazer at third. Here's the 1-2, bouncing ball to third base, scooped up there by Plouffe to second one, relayed to first. Is in time, the double play. 5-4-3, nothing doing for the Tigers. 3 in the books here at Comerica. 8-3 Detroit. Fourth inning here at Comerica Park. Jordan Zimmerman was staked to an 8-0 lead. The Twins have countered with a 2-run shot from Suzuki and a solo homer by Miguel Sano. First one home is low to Trevor Plouffe, who showed a possible bunt but pulled it back. Plouffe was on the disabled list. The Tigers, when they faced him the last time, Plouffe was not in their lineup. He has since returned. There's the soft line drive to left for a base hit. Plouffe is aboard with the leadoff single.
Here's the Chevy Silverado most dependable player tonight, Jordan Zimmerman. Career against the AL Central, 8 games, 7 quality starts, 6-0 record, ERA 2, and a strikeout to walk ratio of 6.38. Off to a good start. That's all this year, right?
All this year.
Hey, look, we got a visitor. It's Keating, Mr. Keating.
1 ball, no strikes on Dozier. What, have you never seen John Keating before?
Not in a while. It's been 2 weeks. He's blushing. Never seen him blush before, or at a loss for words.
I thought it was like the president or something. I turned around, there's Keating.
President Keating, good to see you.
1 ball, 1 strike on Dozier. Dozier has singled, scored a run back in the second. That was the 5th hit, by the way, that Plouffe picked up. 5th for the Twins. 1-2 now the count on Dozier.
I was noticing that the head grounds crew, Heather, went out and talked to crew chief Jeff Nelson, who's now at first base. Must be some rain in the air. It feels like it, doesn't it?
Well, according to my app on my phone, it's going to start sprinkling here soon.
We can handle that.
Yeah, it's no big deal. It's nothing heavy coming in. That's fouled back out of play. 1-2.
Now, they usually go out and inform the crew chief of what's going down. Obviously, the umpires don't have radars out in the field because they'll determine then probably if it's going to be light to just play through it. If they know that there's going to be heavy rain coming, they'll get the tarp on the field quickly so the field holds up well. However, there have been some instances when the advice was wrong.
Right.
We've all seen, I remember the one in Miami, them trying to get the tarp on the field. Should have got on it a little earlier. It took off like a wing. It was in the stands.
1-2 is fouled back. Have you ever pulled the tarp?
I have not, but I did.
Any point?
I did pull the broom around to sweep the infield in a game.
That's nothing compared to the tarp in a game in uniform.
No, I did it as actually what I did for Fox. It's a TV game.
Oh, okay.
It was Keating's idea.
Well,
President Keating.
there's a slow tapper towards second, ranging to his left. Kinsler throws out Dozier. One away.
My boy.
Hey, by the way, the Tigers welcome the Philadelphia Phillies to Comerica May 23rd through the 25th. Get $10 off upper box seats for all 3 games. Offer available exclusively at Tigers.com. Enter the coupon code SAVE10. There's a coupon code. Everybody likes a coupon.
They do?
They do. Everybody. So the rain starting to fall here at Comerica Park.
Somebody came to visit me.
That's fouled back out of play. We know Keating.
And he brought Parkey with him. So I got something for him.
Rosario reaching on a fielder's choice.
A little goofy tonight. I apologize.
All right. Goofy's good every now and then.
Trying to have fun at the ballpark.
There goes the runner to third. Here comes the throw. It bounces into left field, and a run will score. The Twins steal a run literally here, and now all of a sudden it's an 8-4 game.
Yeah, they did a steal here. If you look at Nick Castellanos down there, he was off the bag and a little late breaking. And it's hard to throw if you're salty down to third base. It's vacant, but did not make a good throw, and Nick unable to pick it. And Tigers have given up another run. You can watch Nick right here. He's way off the bag. It's a good play by the Twins right there.
Stolen base E2, allowing the run to score. 8-4 contest. Bases are empty now. 2-1 on Rosario. That'll get back out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tigers got all 8 of the runs in the first inning, and the Twins continue to chip away.
2 in the second, 1 in the third. So far, 1 in the fourth.
Here's the 2-2. Rosario stays alive.
Well, again, we can take a look off the third. Nick Castellanos, see that throw hit right on the lip of the grass and the dirt. Nick could not pick it. The Twins have let the Tigers know they're not giving in early.
No question. They've hit a couple of home runs. They have stolen a couple of bases.
Fans filing out a little bit because of the rain.
Yeah, they're looking for some cover until the shower passes through. There's a drive toward left center field. Upton is on the move, slides and can't get it. Rosario motoring to second, and he is in there standing up. Upton got to it, made a sliding attempt, but couldn't squeeze it. That's a double
Well, the wind and the rain is really tough right now. I'm not making excuses, but this ball takes off, and you can see J-Up's got a beat on it. Tails at the end, kind of handcuffs him, slips and falls down. Twins have another on now.
Yeah, the wind is really picked up, along with the rain falling.
Doesn't look, it's given a little bit of a reprieve, but right there at that time it was raining fairly hard, and the wind was really whipping. But you know, it's your responsibility to understand what the elements are.
More umbrellas are popping up.
Yeah, you got to get out of this inning. Holden cannot let another run score.
Kurt Suzuki, a 2-run shot earlier in this game. Fouled back 0-1. It was Suzuki's first home run of the season. He's got 9 RBIs now. And a bluff back to second. Nobody there to take a throw, so Rosario gets back in. Rosario, by the way, extending his hitting streak to 7 straight.
Now you look right here, Nick's off again, and he'll have to be more mindful and try and get there earlier. Sometimes you'll have the shortstop alert.
This time Kinsler was standing on the bag, but the runner got back in.
Rosario, 2 stolen bases, has not been caught yet.
Here's the 0-1. Ooh, that just missed. 1 ball, 1 strike on Suzuki. What was once a comfortable 8-0 lead is now 8-4. Now the 1-1. Chopper left side, base hit. It's going to get through. Rosario will have to stop at third base to make sure that ball would get through, and Suzuki now is 2 for 2. Twins continue to peck away.
Well, the Tigers moved Nick a little closer to the bag, and the ball just to his left. Suzuki 2 for 2.
Here's Danny Santana. Still only 1 out here in the 4th. Santana, 3 unassisted ground out, his first time to the plate. Strike 1. 64 in the pitch count now for Zimmerman.
That's 20 this inning.
Little chopper slowly left side of the infield. Castellanos can't get it. There's no play, and another run scores for Minnesota. An infield hit. Santana gets an RBI.
Boy, there's nothing you can do about that. He made a good pitch off the end of the bat. They can't get it, can't cut it off. And Iggy does a smart thing, doesn't try and make a throw. He knows there's nobody at third base, just runs right to third base with the ball. Minimize the damage.
A 3-run game now, 8-5, and now you bring up Joe Mauer to the plate.
Need a double play.
This might be your guy to hit into one. Fouled back out of play. Mauer is 0 for 2. Fly out, strikeout. All of a sudden the Twins have the tying run at the plate, and a strike called on Mauer.
Bauer struck out in the third inning. Zimmerman going up and away. Let's see if he tries it again.
Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss, struck him out. He took care of Mauer on 3 pitches.
That's a pretty good pitch in there. Totally different sequence. We talked about how he went up away, slider down and in. Did not use that against Mauer yet. And he gets him.
4 strikeouts for Zimmerman, and that'll bring up Eduardo Nunez. Single stolen base in the first. He bounced out in the third. Nunez looks at a strike 0-1. Came into the ballgame today leading the Twins in average. He was second only to Joe Mauer in hits. A Twins team that has gone through a couple of really rough stretches this year. They started the year 0-9. That's driven foul back out of play. And then they had a stretch of 8 consecutive losses, which they recently broke a couple of days ago.
You look at the standings. White Sox 24-14, 5 games up on Cleveland. See the Tigers 7.5 back. Minnesota 13 back.
Now the 0-2 inside.
Look at those standings in another month and they'll be changed around a bit. Tigers are going to be moving up.
Twins came into this game having scored the fewest runs in the American League with 128. They put up 5 here tonight against Zimmerman. And they are threatening for more here in the fourth. Little chopper back up the middle. Oh, it takes a bad hop and goes into center field to score another run.
It hit the bag?
It hit the bag at second and goes right into center. And now it's an 8-6 ball game. Just as everything was going right in the first inning for the Tigers, Twins getting some breaks.
He says, I'll take it. It's right off the plate as well. Iglesias has an easy play on this. Doesn't work out for the Tigers. Not going to see that happen again the rest of the year.
Second hit of the ball game for Nunez. His 14th RBI as the Twins score another run. It's a 3-run inning.
And the pitch total 73 now for Jordan Zimmerman here in the 4th inning.
Tying runs on the bases. Now here's Miguel Sano. Half swing, ground ball right side. Kinsler gets over there. Quick spin and throws it away. Another run scores. And it's an 8-7 ball game. Wow. Kinsler made a great play to get to that ball, but he just couldn't get an accurate throw off.
Had to rush it. Again, these they've had about 1 hard hit ball this inning, and they're mixing in these ground balls. Not working out for the Tigers. Now 8-7. I mean, Ian knew he had to rush it to get him.
Single E4, tying run at third now as Nunez went all the way to third base on that play. And the Tigers' 8-0 lead has just about disappeared. That is 10 hits now for the Twins. Park swings and misses 0-1.
Yeah, besides the home runs, though, you have the double by Rosario. Other than that, some good fortune for the Twins. Got to give them credit, though, not laying down.
Tigers batted around in the first. Now the Twins do the same thing here in the fourth. 0-2 on Park, who has grounded out to third twice in this game. A 4-run 4th inning. Tigers now will get on the phone to the bullpen. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Park chasing out of the strike zone, but a big inning for the Twins. They score 4 and they're right back in it. A 4-run fourth. It's now an 8-7 ball game. We remind you to stay tuned to Tigers Live following the game. We'll select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by McDonald's. Stop by for your breakfast favorites, now being served all day.
Well, Miguel Cabrera, first hitter of the inning, and Tigers had a tough inning. Twins some fortunate bounces. Tigers got to get back at it. Can't score 8 in the first and not tack on.
Meanwhile, Pat Dean has done a nice job of doing exactly what they had hoped he would. A couple of scoreless innings as he goes back to work here in the fourth and throws a strike. 0-2.
Well, that's what you hope for, is that you get a long reliever that will hold the opponent. And Dean has done so far.
Dean had to come on in the first inning. Barrios threw 39 pitches and then had to leave. The 0-2 missed inside. 1-2 on Miguel. Cabrera, Martinez, Castellanos in the Tigers' fourth.
There's got to be some runs in there.
Here's the 1-2. We'll get back toward the seats out of play. Miggy had a walk and a single plus a run scored in the first. Tigers sent 13 men to the plate in that first inning.
And the Twins sent 9 last inning and got 4.
A very offensive ball game. 15 runs on 18 hits between the two sides. On the ground, bobbled by Nunez. He has time though and throws him out.
Good pitch there by Dean.
One gone. Hey, Saturday, the world's best drivers compete in a winner-take-all fight for $1 million in the NASCAR Sprint Cup All-Star Race at 8:30 Eastern only on FS1, or watch it on Fox Sports Go. Here's Victor Martinez. Victor with a couple of groundouts, both in the first inning. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Tigers have had some uncomfortable swings against the lefty Pat Dean. They had no problem with Barrios, the starter.
Well, Barrios was not throwing strikes, but Dean is. Struggled early when he came in. Now he's just pounding that ball where he's throwing that ball where he wants to. Victor didn't like that call. I thought it was in off the plate. Mixing it in and down and away is Dean.
26 years of age. He'll be 27 next week. Out of Waterbury, Connecticut. And Boston College. The 0-2 is hit in the air to left. It's going to be run down though by Rosario. 2 gone. So with 2 outs, we check out our Comerica Bank game summary. There was that Tigers first inning we spoke of. 8 runs on 6 hits. Twins though countered with big 4-run fourth, and risked tonight. Both teams doing a pretty good job. Here's Nick Castellanos. RBI single in the first for Castellanos. He flied to center field in his last at bat. Tigers on that last road trip dropped 2 out of 3 in Washington, 3 out of 4 in Baltimore, but opened with a bang here tonight. They scored 8 runs in the first inning.
Well, Doug Eddings is strike zone, frustrating the Tigers. You can see Castellanos looking back there, and Eddings getting some chirping from the dugout. Now, if you're the manager, you want to make sure it's you that goes. You don't want a guy like Miguel Cabrera to be eliminated from the game.
Here's the 0-2. Got him. Strike 3 called. Castellanos can't believe it. Did not agree with those last 2, and he's letting Eddings know about it. And somebody's been thrown out of the game. Here comes Brad.
Knew it. We've seen him do it here in this ballpark before.
Drew 4. Tigers lead by 1.
Lead 8-7. A little frustration starting to boil over here for the Tigers. Doug Eddings expanding the zone a little bit. And Castellanos for the 2nd pitch in a row. Thinks he gets jobbed a little bit. Brad Ausmus is tossed from the game. He's there he goes. He gets him. Brad's going to come out and give his piece. He doesn't believe he can see the plate. And you can tell Brad very animated right there. A lot of frustration. And takes his jersey off and nicely and neatly covers the plate. So no use of having the white part.
That is without question as animated as we have seen Brad Ausmus, let alone the whole jersey thing there. But he said his piece to Doug Eddings, who had ejected him on a couple of pitches that appeared to be inside. That ball stroked to center field. Cameron Maybin is on the run, still going back. He'll track it down right in front of the wall. Trevor Plouffe gave it a ride, 1 out. It'll bring up Brian Dozier. Dozier, a single, a run scored, and a ground out. Here's a strike call. Do you remember your biggest meltdown as a manager?
My biggest meltdown was with Bob Davidson when he baited my catcher on a check swing. He didn't swing, but Davidson didn't check with his helper down there at third base. We had a few little conversation. He got up his next at bat and did it again. I knew he was just baiting him. And when you know that, you have to protect your player. And we had a good one. The veins were out, and of course we both got ejected. And
did you keep your jersey on though?
Yeah, we both got disciplined.
There's a strikeout of Dozier, and that's more like it now for Zimmerman. 2 gone.
I did get a call from Joe Torre, as Brad will get a call from Joe Torre. And Gibby, Joe Torre here, please give me a call. I saved actually some of the calls that I got from Joe Torre over the years.
You didn't take his call? You let it go to voicemail?
Well, I was on the field, but I called him back later. But the thing about it is he says, I know I don't have to tell you this, but, and then you just listen.
Yeah. That's all you can do at that point, right?
Yeah, you know, the contact with an umpire, you just have to avoid that at all costs.
Yeah.
And Brad, you know, went out and had his say right there. Doug Eddings is a veteran umpire. He'll write it up, and I don't think there'll be any suspension.
Spectacular imitation to Joe Torre, by the way. Very good. Here's a swing and a miss.
Yeah, I got a call from, we were headed down to Australia to play the Dodgers. Probably don't need to tell you this, but we don't need to have an international incident, is the way he worded it. Of course we would. Let's get out of this inning quickly.
Swing and a miss. You got your wish.
That's what we needed right there.
1-2-3 inning. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. Tigers lead the Twins 8-7 as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. See the Tigers take on the Twins tomorrow or Wednesday and get 4 tickets, hot dogs, chips, and drinks for as low as $16 per person. The weekday value pack. Visit tigers.com/value or call 866-66-TIGERS. Here is Upton leading it off. First pitch swinging, popped it up. First base side for Mauer. 1 pitch, 1 out. Upton is now 0 for 3. Mauer didn't even move.
Yeah, right to him. Actually, a hanger right there. Jay Up just, if we were talking about his timing, has been disrupted for some time now. Unable to center that pitch. Dean may have gotten away with one there.
Here's Cameron Maben. There's a strike called on Maben. Well, a good debut for Camp tonight. A walk, a single, a steal, and a run scored. That'll miss inside from Pat Dean. Here's the 1-1. Chopper left side, base hit. Maben is aboard with his second hit. Third time he has reached tonight.
Cam Maben off to a good start here since coming back from the DL. Lots of action for him today at the plate in the outfield. Nunez cannot catch up, and we've got one out. Cam Maben, he can score easily. Tigers put the ball in play. Be looking to get a base. I'm sure you're going to see several throws over here.
Saltalamacchia strike call.
Yeah, very quick to the plate right there, almost like a second. That's pretty quick. You're going to have to really cheat to get this bag now.
Salte bases loaded walk in the first, scored a run. Struck out his last time up. Tigers now have 9 hits. I mentioned Maben earlier in his career. Stole quite a few bases. In fact, for his career, 117. Stole as many as 40 with the Padres over in the National League. Here's the 0-1. Salty sends a ground ball left side, base hit. Out of the reach of Nunez, and here come the Tigers now with 2 men on.
Boy, Salty, keep the line moving. Tigers have not scored since the first inning. We've got action.
Iglesias was a huge part of that 8-run first. He cleared the bases with a double, scoring 3 runs, and all of a sudden his RBI total jumped to 6.
Jose needs to get the ball up. Strikeout last at bat on a changeup.
There's Gene Lamont now holding the lineup card for the Tigers. First one is low and in to Iglesias. Dean came on in the first, a scoreless second, third, and fourth, but now some trouble here in the 5th. Way inside, 2-0. Dean was helped out by a double play off the bat of J.D. Martinez in the 3rd. He is in search of another ground ball here, but he's behind 2-0.
Get it up. Again, you can see the left-hander working the Tigers hard inside, getting all the calls as well. In fact, got Brad Ausmus ejected.
How about that? Kinsler on the left, Kinsler on the right.
Little different spelling.
Gotta love that split screen. Fly ball to center. And that'll be caught by the center fielder Santana. Runners will hold.
Let's take a look at the Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the game. Ian Kinsler, 3 hits, 2 in the first inning, leads the game off with the home run, adds an RBI single in the first inning. And then in the 3rd, another single. Off to a good start here. Tigers runners on first and second, 2 down, looking for Ian to go 4 for 4 and played another.
Single, double, homer. This is a pretty good triples ballpark.
That'd be special.
Wouldn't that be something? Kinsler shoots it foul to third base.
Looking inside from Dean and getting it, pulling it foul.
Tigers have not had a cycle since '06, and it was Carlos Guillen against the then Devil Rays. Hit one out there to the triangle out in right center. He gets himself a triple in. Ball low, 1-1.
The Twins have been trying to keep throwing Kinsler inside. Ian's very good on that part of the plate. Little surprise. Kind of look for him to go away later in this at bat.
Here's the 1-1. He stayed away there. 2 balls, 1 strike.
See if you don't get the changeup here. So you can throw that changeup just down over the plate. Try and get Kinsler out in front.
Two-one. He stays inside. 3-1.
That little slider breaking it in under the hands of Ian. You're the hitter. You have to be selective.
Kinsler sends a high pop-up, shallow left center field. 3 Twins converge, and it's Rosario to make the catch. And the Tigers are turned back in the 5th.
Come back, have a big 4th inning, 4 runs on 5 hits and 2 errors. And Jordan Zimmerman, Rosario there with a tough hit to second. Santana off the end of the bat, 1 off the end of the bag. Kinsler right here with the throwing error. And not much went right there with the Tigers. Jordan Zimmerman now with about 85 pitches. The Tigers going to be leaning on him to go deeper into this game before they get that bullpen and secure this win. That's a tough inning to watch over again, wasn't it?
Real tough.
Very frustrating.
Very frustrating indeed. The Tigers at one point led 8-0 in this game.
2-run home run, solo home run. Then we had the 4-run 4th.
Zimmerman had a 1-2-3 5th. Now back to work here in the 6th. He's got 7 strikeouts tonight. Suzuki touched him up with that 2-run homer in the 2nd.
2 home runs on 2 hanging sliders, I believe. But you know, I give Jordan credit. He continues to use it, and he's throwing some good ones. Many pitchers would just abandon that.
1 ball, 1 strike. It'll be Suzuki, Santana, and Mauer here in the top of the 6th. Game 1 in this 3-game series. Both teams have 10 hits tonight. It's turned into a slugfest. There's a sharp ground ball. Diving stop. Iglesias to his feet and throws him out. Jose Iglesias stretching out. A marvelous play it short.
Good play here by Iglesias. Gets off on this ball very quickly. Dive. Reaches properly. Gets up quickly with a strong, accurate throw. It's going to take some good plays here to secure this win. Miggy's a good target over there.
Suzuki thought he had himself his third hit. Here's Santana offering up a bunt, strike one. Santana, infield hit to drive in a run his last time, again showing bunt, and now he's behind in the count 0-2.
Here's our high-speed pitch brought to you by Xfinity. High of 93, low of 79 for Jordan Zimmerman. Santana, he's just going to chop it and go.
Slow roller hit the mound and took a left turn, but Iglesias stays with it, and he uses that gun for the out, 2 gone. Time for a game break now. Here's Mickey York. Ooh, another knockout punch reference. How about this Rays, man? They weren't supposed to have any offense, but they got 11 big ones tonight.
Yeah, they'll be coming in after this series with the Twins on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We get the chance to cool them down.
Joe Mauer has fanned twice in this game. He's also lined out to left. He is now 2 for his last 16 at bats.
Doesn't strike out that much.
Chopper to the second baseman. Kinsler gobbles it up, and that's going to be an easy inning for Jordan Zimmerman. 1, 2, 3, but he got some help from Jose Iglesias. Diving stop at short. On top of Minnesota, we go to the bottom of the 6th inning at the ballpark tonight, and in what has been a wild one, the Tigers at one point led 8-0. Now JD Martinez here in the 6th, facing left-hander Pat Dean. First pitch is hit into right field, a base hit. Single the other way for JD, his second hit tonight. Time now for T-Mobile's greater coverage of baseball. Carlos Beltran, well, he has been one outstanding player in his career. Hit his 400th career home run Sunday against the White Sox. 8th player to hit 400 career homers in a Yankee jersey.
And a switch hitter.
Good player.
Some good names on that list there. Ruth, Gary, Mantle.
Cabrera ground ball to third. Plouffe. He'll fire to second one. That's going to be a double play. Sharply hit ball right to Trevor Plouffe. And that is the second 5-4-3 they have turned tonight. 2 outs for Victor Martinez.
Tigers trying to jump Dean early in the count. Worked for JD, not for Miggy.
Pat Dean has given Paul Molitor everything he could have expected tonight or hoped for.
Pat Dean back on May 11th threw 2 2/3 innings and 57 pitches. So wondering how he could be at 78 pitches and out of the bullpen. That's pretty long outing for a guy coming out of the pen, but he had 57 pitches, so he's ready for this. That's a good thing for them tonight, but that means the other game he pitched in wasn't very good either.
They do have more action in their bullpen. Here's the 0-1. Did he go? He did not, says Jeff Nelson. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Brandon Kinsler is up again.
One pitch is in there. Strike called on Victor.
He didn't like that call, right down at the bottom of the zone.
Doug Eddings has ejected manager Brad Ausmus tonight. And a pitch to Castellanos. There are actually a couple of pitches in Nick's last at bat that were, according to the Tigers, a little bit inside and questionable. And Eddings ejected Brad Ausmus.
There are a couple pitches that inning the Tigers disputed, but I'm just going to tell you with Doug Eddings, you're never going to win by getting on him. You have reputations and you know and understand, but if you start barking at him, it's not usually good result. He usually has a quick thumb.
High fly ball. That's into center field for Danny Santana. And down they go in a 7-pitch inning for Pat Dean. Comerica Park, game 1 of this homestand. The Twins and Tigers. It is 8-7 in favor of Detroit. All 8 of the Tigers runs coming in the first inning tonight. It'll be Eduardo Nunez leading it off. Jordan Zimmerman back out there. Zimmerman's had a couple of 1, 2, 3 innings. A couple of singles tonight for Eduardo Nunez. And he sends a ground ball to short, 2 steps to his right. Iglesias, 1 pitch, 1 out. Well, earlier tonight, Alabilo spoke with us, the Tigers general manager, concerning the frustration the fans are feeling.
I understand the passion that they have, and I understand how much they want to win, but we also have passion, and we also want to win, and we're working towards that, and we're trying to get more consistent. So you can't get a better preparation than what Brad and his staff do. You can't get better preparation than what our players are doing. At the end, you still want results, and that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're striving for.
Yeah, I'm not sure everybody recognizes. You do get frustrated in these situations, and you sound off. Everybody does it differently. But I think Al's showing support there for Brad. and just asking for a little bit of patience. The results are frustrating, but I think you have to remain, if you're the Tigers and the Tigers team, on the process and what you've laid out. And it's kind of early, I think, to panic.
Well, I agree. I mean, I know the frustration is there, and yes, it should be, because this team right now is underperforming, but it's May the 16th, and as far as I know, the season goes into October, so that's a long way from right now.
Yeah, I'm not making any excuses. It's my mentality as a player, as a supporter of the Tigers, as a manager. You can't get emotional and just do things to do things. You have to think it out. When you have conviction of something, you make a move. And they're not there yet. And they've had a tough stretch. There's some things that have happened to them in some of these games that are just unexplainable. Now tonight, in that fourth inning, they gave up 4 runs. Now, granted, 2 of them they made 2 errors, so they're responsible for that. The other one's off the end of the bat. Those things are going to happen. You just have to play better in other situations so you can overcome them. Jordan Zimmerman is throwing, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4 ground balls, and now adds a strikeout to Miguel Sano, and he's doing his job.
That was his 100th pitch. Here's the breakdown for Zimmerman. You're right, man. He has really taken this game under control since the 5th inning.
It's 100 pitches, only 23 balls so far tonight, so he's had good command. And generally 108 to 110 pitches, he's out of the game. And that's the way it's been all year. Now it'll be interesting to see if he lobbies to remain in the game. Tigers do have action in the bullpen. I'm sure it'll be Alex Wilson.
Fly ball in the air to left center field. Ball hit well. Maben going back, and it's up against the base of the wall. Park is on his way to second, and he'll pull in with a double, and Park nearly tied the game. A 2-out 2-base hit, which snaps a string of 9 straight that have been retired by Zimmerman.
Just gets a fastball out over the plate. See Park right in his groove swing. You see the tap, the leg kick, and the extension. Fortunately, Zim kept him up the middle of the field, so the ball did not go out of the park.
We'll bring Rich Doobie out to the mound and have a talk with Zimmerman. And so each ball club now with 11 hits, the tying run in scoring position for Trevor Plouffe.
Plouffe has struck out in the second, does have a single, stole the base at third, and scored on the air.
Clock at 0, which means Doobie has to go back to the dugout. He took every one of those 30 seconds. The Tigers have action in their pen. Wilson and Wilson, Alex and Justin. So here is Plouffe now with 2 outs. Swing and a miss, 0-1.
Tigers trying to get Zim through 7 innings.
Jordan tonight with 8 strikeouts.
He's elevated some balls that the Twins have made him pay for, but yet he's got many swing and misses on that same pitch.
Park the tying run at second. Plouffe in the ball game, a single and 3 at bats. Here's the 0-1. Fly ball right field. Moving J.D. Martinez back. He's going to the warning track to make the catch. No, and he dropped it. He dropped the baseball, and the tying run will score. Wow. 3rd error of the game for the Tigers, and it's now 8-8.
He's got to run a long way. You see his eyes are on it. Just looked like he didn't foul it right into his glove, hit off the heel, and comes out. It's one of those things. Not going good.
3 Tigers errors, and that look for J.D. says it all. It's an 8-8 ball game.
Got to get this last out.
So the Twins have come all the way back from 8 runs down. Here is Brian Dozier. There's a strike on the inside part of the plate.
I tell you, I've been impressed with Jordan Zimmerman's composure. That's a very frustrating evening right there. Starting with the 8-run lead. Now it's tied up. 3 errors. He's really throwing the ball pretty decent.
Dozier swings and misses 0-2. Well, you're right, he has. I mean, he has 8 strikeouts at one point, retired 9 straight. Tigers committed 2 errors in that 4-run fourth, and now a costly one here in the 7th. Here's the 0-2. Broke off a breaking ball that bounces in. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Dozier. Single and 3 at bats. Zim now at 107 pitches. .108 is his high water mark this year. A couple of starts ago he threw .108. Here's the 1-2. Way outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You can see Zimmerman taking a good look at Pluth down there. He's a guy, kind of a veteran guy, and feel like he might be trying to tip location. You want to make sure that you wait as long as you can if you're salty.
Got him. Strike 3 in the outside corner. Dozier can't believe it. And he's going to jaw now with home plate umpire Doug Eddings. But the Twins get a run.
Get him.
Paul Molitor coming out to get in front of his player to make sure he doesn't get tossed. Twins have tied it up, though. It's an 8-8 ball game coming up the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch.
Brian Dozier also has a complaint with Doug Eddings. Eddings has ejected Brad Ausmus on an earlier call. Dozier did stay in the game. Paul Molitor came out for a little talk.
Dozier was incredulous on that last pitch.
Didn't say the magic word though.
Nope. And therefore he's allowed to continue to play.
Now the big, you know what the biggest magic word is? You don't say to an umpire.
Well, can you say it on the air?
Yeah.
Okay. What is it?
You.
Oh,
like
that makes sense.
You missed it. You say you.
You so and so.
Yeah. Yeah. You can mix a lot of things in there, but the you part's what gets you going.
0-2 on Castellanos. Well, Pat Dean last pitched 5 days ago, and he was, as we mentioned, starting in the minor leagues. He is up now to 85 pitches in relief here, and what a job he has done for the Twins. And their offense has come back to tie this game, although they've been aided by 3 Tigers errors. Castellanos fouls another one back out of play.
Keeps pounding the Tiger hitters. Got a little elevation to that pitch, up and inside. Not down and in where they could get the bat head out, up and in. It's not up where they won't swing at it, it's right at the top. Got the Tigers tied up. Tigers have not scored since the first inning.
Upton and Maben to follow here in the 7th. Ball high, 1-2.
Now what do you do if you're the Tigers? You try and take it, hope it doesn't get called on you. You can back off the plate, or take it, wait till you get 2 strikes and just foul it off and hope that pitcher Dean makes a mistake.
Drill toward left field. That ball's hit pretty good. Rosario looks up, and it's gone. A home run. Castellanos has untied this ball game. 9-8 Tigers. Oh, do they need that? They are back in front by 1.
Just talking about this, trying to go up and in again with the breaking pitch and the fastball in. Doesn't tie him up this time. Nick goes to school and gets the bat head out. Looking at it from the side. Good step, good separation. You see him bring those hands in and barrel that ball out of the park. Tigers lead 9-8.
Number 8 for Castellanos. Here's Dustin Upton. Swing and a miss, 0-1. That is the 12th Tigers hit of the night for Castellanos, his 29th, make it his 30th RBI. He's got 2 of them tonight. Also singled in a run in the 8-run first. The 0-1.
You said Nick's second hit of the night came into the game hitting 120 off lefties, so reversing the trend.
Upton tonight has fanned twice. He has also popped up, making him 0 for 3. Fly ball to right, shallow, charging. Sano gonna drop, base hit. Back-to-back hits for the Tigers. And it looks like that's going to be it for Dean. Who made a valiant relief effort tonight, but Paul Molitor will go back to their bullpen. He came out in the 1st and got him to the 7th. Well-signed Windows pitching change here in the Motor City. 9-8 Tigers. We'll be back. Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. Dodge, come discover great deals during the Dodge Drive and Discover events. And by Kroger. Well, the Tigers had an 8-0 lead. It disappeared, and now Nick Castellanos has put them back in front with a home run. It's 9-8 Tigers, and Ryan Presley comes in for Minnesota.
18 games, ERA up there at 5.23, so 22 strikeouts and 14 walks. Opponents hitting almost 290 off him.
Time to get some insurance runs now, as Cameron Maben steps in on base 3 times tonight. Maben walked and scored in the first, singled and stole in the second, and singled in the fifth. Shows a bunt, drops it down, back to the mound. This will advance the runner. Nicely done by Maben. Puts Upton at second.
Tigers play a little small ball right there, trying to tack another run on. Maben sacrificing, kind of trying for a base hit, but if it doesn't work out, he gets the sacrifice. Got a runner on second now with Jay up.
And Maben's had a good return.
Oh, absolutely.
Tigers had 13 hits in this game now. Saltalamacchia stands in. Single, bases loaded, walk tonight for Salty. And he drives one deep to right field, and Sano will go back on a line drive to make the catch. And the runner retreats. Saltalamacchia hammered it, but straight at Sano.
Good defense.
2 gone.
This ball leaves the bat. You're thinking that's down in the corner. Twins had Sano right over there, almost right to him. A step to his left. Little topspin on this ball as well. Did not carry out. Ooh, did you see that ball almost came out of his glove?
He bobbled it. Something going on out there in right field. Here's Iglesias. Up and in on Iglesias. 3-run double in the first inning. Strikeout, fly out his other 2 times up. Off the outer edge. Pat Dean threw 91 pitches in relief tonight, which is basically a start because he came on in the first inning.
Threw more pitches than the starter.
And Barrios was out after 39 pitches.
5 1/3, 2 runs.
2-1 on Iglesias.
Yeah, not a good pitch there, 2-0, but Iggy couldn't hold up. Still up in the count, 2 balls and a strike.
Tigers in search of a 2-out hit. They lead 9-8. High chop left side of the infield. Going to be a tough play. Plouffe got him by a step. That's all for the Tigers. However, they reclaim the lead. Nick Castellanos, bang. It's a home run to left center. Tigers up by a run. You're watching Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Bell Tire. Matchup presented by the Michigan Office of Highway Safety Planning, and tomorrow it's going to be Phil Hughes facing Mike Pelfrey in Game 2.
Well, Phil Hughes had a pretty good year for the Twins last year, but not so good this year. Velocity's way off, and Mike Pelfrey coming off a decent start, kind of gaining momentum. 5 1/3 innings last time, and a couple of older guys that try to get on track. So we hope Mike builds on that last start.
There's Pelfrey. Hopefully the Tigers have a win and a 2-game winning streak going into that game tomorrow night.
Guys are pretty tall each. That'll bring in Justin Wilson, 18th game, has 9 holds. He's only thrown 1 out of his last 5 days, so he's a bit overused early, but rested to go tonight. Looking at the Twins, they got Rosario, Suzuki, and Santana, all not as good against left-handed pitchers.
And the bottom 3 in their lineup, that's how they play defensively against Rosario, and he looks at ball 1.
The bottom 3 of this lineup tonight has scored 5 of the runs for the Twins.
Yeah, really production from 1 through 9 in their lineup this evening. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Little chopper to first, foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Eddie Rosario had a double, stole a base, scored a run back in the 4th. Tigers trying to sidestep 3 errors in this game tonight, which have all been costly, all leading to runs. But the Castellanos home run in the 7th has given the Tigers the lead again. Wilson missing outside, 2-1. Justin gave up 3 hits, 2 runs in 2/3 of an inning on the 12th in the recent road trip in Baltimore. Foul back, 2-2.
Yes, and he had thrown, that was 4 out of 6 days as well. So much better rested tonight, ready to do the job.
Jordan Zimmerman goes a total of 7 in the ball game tonight, and he will finish with 9 strikeouts. Outside, 3-2. Kurt Suzuki waiting on deck. Three-two pitch. Popped up foul, back out of play.
That's off his knuckles.
Which should make it a knuckleball.
So he's trying to get it away. The ball is inside off the label. Got to get this leadoff hitter.
Rosario led last year, led all baseball with 15 triples. Swing and a miss. That's not going to help him there.
That's a hard 90-mile-an-hour slider right there.
Hey, follow Tigers baseball live with the MLB.com at Bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone or tablet. Kurt Suzuki will check in. On the outer edge.
Scored 2 runs, has a home run, a single. Almost had a single last at bat, but Iglesias swept him up.
Bunted, third base side. Wilson gonna have to hurry, and he guns him out. Ooh, he let that one go, and he threw it right on target.
Yes, he did. Suzuki, tricky veteran play right there, trying to get a runner on base. Wilson does a good job. Make sure he catches the ball, steps, and throws a bullet. Suzuki wanted that a little more down the third base line, but didn't get it there. We've got a pinch hitter, don't we?
Oswaldo Arcia, as Paul Molitor looks for some thunder off the bench here in a 1-run game. Arcia has 4 home runs this year, batting .227. They will play the shift against Arcia. Checked it, strike 1. That's Kinsler out in the outfield grass.
Arcia 3 for 10 left-handers this year.
Swing and a miss.
He lets it go.
However, Arcia is 0 for his last 14.
Excellent.
And he's behind in the count 0-2.
A little higher.
Spoiled it, back to the screen.
97 miles an hour. He's feeling good tonight. Fresh.
Joe Mauer on deck. Wilson again with the 0-2. Way high. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
See if we can't get a chase pitch here. Down in the dirt. Been working him up in the zone. Starting him a little lower. Breaking down into the dirt. Just staying up there.
Fouled away.
Now, did you see Salty put his hand between to give him signs to shake his head no there?
Yes.
Because he was trying to get Arcia to think it was going to be a curveball, so he wanted him to shake. Many times when the pitcher shakes, it'll bring you into a breaking ball mode. Here we go. We're going to get this time. Get it down. Oh, yes, he did.
Did he go? Yes, he went around, says Corey Blazer. And Arcia has a few choice words.
English?
Probably Espanol. He went around.
Agree.
Is 9-8 in favor of Detroit. It'll be the top of the lineup: Kinsler, Martinez, and Cabrera. Arcia stays in the game. He'll play left. Rosario moves to center. Santana's out of the game. Ian Kinsler is going to take a strike. He needs a triple for the cycle.
It'd be nice. Get the cycle and get him in.
Here's the 0-1. Probably the best shot for that, obviously, to hit the ball to the gap in right center field all the way to that auxiliary scoreboard out there. And then just pick him up and lay him down. Here's the 1-1. As if it's that easy to decide to hit the ball out there to the wall.
Yeah.
It's a lot tougher than that.
Well, Ian, they've been throwing him inside most of the game. So he's thinking about turning on the pitch. You're talking about the other direction. Going to have a good pitch out of third to do that.
Homered and doubled in the first inning tonight. Here's the 2-1. Low, 3 balls and 1 strike. Presley came on in the 7th, got 3 outs. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Ripped and dropped by the third baseman Plouffe, but his throw is scooped at first base by Mauer. 1 away.
Gee.
He has hit the ball hard every time up tonight.
Not justice there. You're going to get a look. They're pretty good on positioning tonight, are the Twins. Plouffe doesn't panic, picks it up. Almost pulled Mauer off the bag.
Almost forcing a collision at first base. Kinsler trying to avoid Mauer.
You know, what are you supposed to do, huh?
JD Martinez swinging a miss.
Now always tell yourself to keep running hard. Get my drift.
"13 Tigers hits tonight, 11 for the Twins. The 0-1. Drill deep to left field. That ball is way back and gone. It cleared the bullpen and left. And there's the Tigers' insurance run. And JD appears to be back.
We've been talking about it all game. The Twins have been pounding the Tiger hitters inside. Tiger hitters making adjustments. Nick Castellanos in his last at bat. Look at here, they get JD. They're trying to go inside. This ball gets away. He just brings him in. And he's strong. That gets out of here quick. Insurance run. 10-8 now, Detroit.
Man, that is brute strength right there. You clear the bullpen. That ball is lined to right, but straight at Sano. 2 gone. Homer number 7 for JD Martinez. JD was on base 9 times in that series against the Orioles.
Starting to feel good like he did last year, isn't he?
Yeah, and I guess part of the reason is too that you can tell is he took 4 walks in that series as well.
Starting to get more patient. You know, when they moved him to second position, that I don't know that that was a little different for him. So it probably took him a little bit of time to get acclimated.
Here's Victor Martinez. Ball 1. Here is the Magic Moonshot presented by Magic Window. You just saw it. It just cleared the bullpen out on the left off the bat of JD Martinez.
Okay, the ball's up in the air tonight, really flying. Good atmospheric conditions.
The ball's golfed toward left field. Arcia is under it. The atmospheric conditions would not carry that one out. The JDs win, and the Tigers now lead by 2. J.D. Martinez earlier in the game dropped a fly ball in right, which tied the game. He has more than made up for it with a home run in the 8th to give the Tigers a 2-run lead now. And the Tigers go to their closer in the 9th. It'll be Francisco Rodriguez.
15th game, 9 out of 10. I believe it's 9 in a row for Frankie. Got the save yesterday as well. Throwing the ball much better location. Andrew Romine at third base for Nick Castellanos.
Joe Mauer leads it off. Top of the order coming up for the Twins. 2-run spread right now in the 9th. Mauer looks at a strike.
Francisco 34 games, 2-0 record against the Twins, 18 saves. Looking for number 19 tonight.
Justin Wilson had an impressive 8th inning, 1-2-3 with a couple of strikeouts. Tigers pitching tonight, by the way, has punched out 11 Twins batters. Here's the 0-1. Bouncing ball back up the middle, had him played perfectly. Iglesias throws him out. It's an 0 for 5 for Bauer.
Good defensive positioning right there. K-Rod gets the ball on the ground. Iglesias easily takes care of that. Tigers 2 outs away from celebration in a 2-game win streak.
Here is Eduardo Nunez,
which you wouldn't normally talk about, but it's big. It really is. Get some momentum here.
Tigers had lost 11 of 12. They got the big comeback win in Baltimore yesterday, and so even if you're winning 2 in a row, we'll take it. But 2 more outs to get. Tigers have 14 hits in this one tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike on Nunez. Nunez a single in the 4th to drive in a run. He's 2 out of 4 tonight. 1-2. Pelfrey and Hughes tomorrow in game 2. It'll be a 3-game series. Then the Rays come in over the weekend. Pelfrey looking to build on his last start. He'll get a chance to go against his former team. The 1-2.
K-Rod with a lot of fastballs so far. He's keeping it away from Nunez. You know he's coming with that off speed somewhere here in this at bat. The old veteran guys, they'll waste a couple to get to their out pitch. Solte wants a fastball inside here.
And it's yanked to third. Nice play by Romine. 2 gone. Romine is a defensive replacement. Picking and a grinning down there at third. That ball was scalded.
Did he catch that, or did the ball catch him?
Either way.
Good reactions. Actually had that easy. Nice to be young, huh?
Nice hands.
And good play by Brad to get Andrew in there.
So with 2 outs, crowd coming to its feet now. Here's Miguel Sano. Strike 1 on Sano.
6 out of 8 pitches, strikes.
Like that.
Yeah, he's got the good location tonight. Finding the zone.
Swing and a miss. He got a piece of it actually and fouled it off. 0-2.
This one will be in the dirt.
Hopefully followed quickly by a swing and a miss.
That's what he's looking for.
Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him Tigers hold on to win tonight. 10-8 the final score. Bullpen comes out and has 6 up, 6 down. Wilson and K-Rod. Castellanos a big home run. JD a big home run as well.
Yeah. And could have been, they could have let this game get out of control after scoring 8 and having the tough 4th inning, but got it done. Got the 2 insurance runs and get the win. 2 in a row.
Handshakes, high fives, and plenty of smiles. Tigers win their 2nd consecutive game. Frankie Rodriguez with the final nail. We'll be back.